He stood 6 feet 5 inches tall, with arms capable of crushing steel, but the moment that changed his life came when he allowed himself to cry. Before the Oscar nomination, before John Coffey, before millions of people saw him cry on screen, Michael Clarke Duncan was digging ditches in Chicago. He hauled concrete, worked at gas stations, was a bouncer in nightclubs. Honest work that paid the bills, but didn't touch his soul. Michael was a massive man whose presence made hearts skip a beat when he entered a room. Strangers noticed his size first and decided everything else based on that. Dangerous, scary, difficult. They were wrong about all of it. Inside that 6'5" frame lived someone gentle, shy, soft-spoken. A man who felt everything in a world that expected someone built like him to feel nothing. His mother, John, who raised him alone in Chicago, understood. She told him his strength was not a burden, but a gift. But she made him promise one thing: never let the world harden you. Your kindness matters more than your muscles. For years, Michael worked as a bodyguard for celebrities. He stood in doorways, keeping chaos at bay, while quietly dreaming of something else. He wanted to act, to move people. He wanted to be seen for who he was, not just how he looked. Hollywood wasn't interested. Too big, too quiet, too gentle. There was no place for a man who looked intimidating but carried tenderness so close to the surface. Then everything changed. While working security on film sets, Michael befriended Will Smith and other actors who looked past his appearance. They encouraged him, helped him get small roles, believed in him when casting directors didn't. In 1999, director Frank Darabont was casting The Green Mile. He needed someone to play John Coffey, a huge man wrongly accused of murder, a healer who absorbs others' pain, a man feared for his size but possessing profound softness. When Michael auditioned, he didn't have to pretend. Every tear was real, every tremble in his hands, every note in his voice. He drew from a life where he had been judged, overlooked, feared, and misunderstood. In the story, John Coffey was called a monster. Michael understood that. He knew what it was like to be seen as dangerous when all you wanted was to help, to heal, to take on pain so others wouldn't have to carry it. The performance earned him an Oscar nomination. But more than that, it finally allowed the world to see him. Michael once said that real strength isn't about striking back. Sometimes it means standing still, not letting the world harden you, no matter how hard it tries. When Michael Clarke Duncan suddenly passed away in 2012 at the age of 54, people mourned his voice, his presence, his unforgettable performances. But what they were really mourning was something quieter: his softness in a world obsessed with hardness, his vulnerability in a culture that punishes it, his courage to remain gentle when everything told him to be tough. His mother taught him well: strength and tenderness are not opposites. The strongest people often listen the best, feel the deepest, and heal the calmest. Michael Clarke Duncan stood 6 feet 5 inches tall, and his hands could bend steel. He worked jobs that broke his body. He lived in a world that understood his size but struggled to accept his heart. But when he finally had the chance to show who he really was, he didn't roar. He cried. And in those tears, millions of people, especially men who had been told their whole lives they must be tough, saw permission to be human. Sometimes a giant doesn't have to roar at all. He just needs to be seen. Michael Clarke Duncan, 1957 to 2012. Actor, gentle soul, proof that the softest hearts often come in the strongest packages. His mom always knew that.